Good day, everyone. Welcome to the 20th episode of Staying in the Fight to Defeat Rectum Cancer. I noticed from a couple days ago that my skin around here is starting to look a bit frail and a different sort of color. My palms are looking purplish, and at the end of my nails as well, there seem to be some purplish hue that's getting into them. But I'm going to monitor it and keep you guys posted. I want to continue with my question. What makes you think as a Christian that your seat is already booked in heaven? And today I'm going to use two parallels. I'm going to use Moses and I'm going to use Joshua. Moses was God's trusted man, and he brought the Israelites from Egypt all the way to the promised land, but he didn't make the promised land. And there are several reasons for that. And he started to disobey God. Probably the frustration and people not listening to him over the years got to him, and he was a changed man. He disobeyed God. He didn't listen to God. He got angry. And in one instant when God asked him to talk to the stone so they can get water, he angrily struck at the stone and the water came out. But that wasn't his biggest problem. His biggest problem, he didn't trust God enough that the Israelites could be used for something positive. That was his biggest problem. And you cannot walk all the way with God and then in the end you start to distrust him, you disobey him, the anger issues come up. In other words, everything that you have done, you now have unraveled it, you've undermined it. So your ticket that was essentially booked is now no more because you are being disobedient. The second person I want to use and is Joshua. Joshua was about 90 when he took over from Moses. And he went through three stages, main stages. One, he was in Egypt. He knows what it was like to be a slave and abused and kicked around. And he was in the desert with Moses as his second lieutenant, and he learned a lot from Moses. So he also understood and knew what the people were up to, complaining, being disobedient, wanting to go back. So he understood that because he was in leadership. But God wanted more for the leadership that will take his people to the promised land. And Joshua seemed to have possessed those qualities. He was a very faithful man. He was inspired. He was spiritual. He was obedient. And that's what God was waiting for. And he saw that in Joshua. And remembering also that Moses had nominated Joshua as his successor. So it was an easy flow for the people as well. There wasn't any ruckus when he took over the leadership. Now, the thing that I want to highlight here is that Joshua was process-driven. He understood the process that happened in Egypt. He understood the process that happened along the way for 40 years. And he understood now what he had to do to get the people across to the promised land. So yes, again, we have to obey God every step of the way. We can't fault him. We cannot say that, you know what, I'm old in this game, I know it all. We have to listen to the people that we lead. Because when God was speaking to Joshua, he didn't only just guide him with his advice, but he used his people to guide Joshua so that now he listened to God and he also listened to the people. So even in leadership, we must not forget who we lead. Take our people into consideration. Listen to their problems. Listen to their queries. And that will magnify and make our leadership qualities spot on. Thank you very much. Bye.